thank you and welcome. The audience, they're really waiting for you guys, and they really would want to know what the future of payments is. What do you think about? What do you envision? Where we are and definitely where we want to be. So I'll start on this note, and if Maiwa can just briefly give me a brief on what you think the future of payments will be. Thank you.
Hi, this is Maiwa Sigo. The future of payments is really exciting because the generation that we are, generation that prioritizes experience. And I explained that, beyond the vanilla function of payment, which is I want to buy something, I'm going to pay for it, we look for further connections. Does the brand resonate with my lifestyle? Especially because I represent the generation of digital natives. What I mean by that is the generation that was born into that inclusion of digitals already. So innovation has gotten to a point before my era. So we came with very high expectations. And we're now looking for not just to pay for those things, but now to resonate with the brand. And that's what I'm going to say. Another angle to it is now collaborating payments with today lifestyle. So now I want payment to be inculcated in e-commerce. I know it does already, but now you even see Gen Z companies that are focused more around not just what they serve as a primary purpose for whatever company that these are, but inculcating payments with such that we just want to be honest. And when these people just come with, say, lifestyle, for example, I know a startup that plans travels for Gen Zs and payments in the platform. So when I come, I just put my budget and I pay and I'm happy, right? So the future of payments for me is ease, accessibility, and some very interesting innovative technology that I see glimpses of, and I can't wait for Africa to be a part of that inclusion. Yeah. So for me, that will be the future.
All right, thank you, Maiwa. And so it's ease, I think I took that. Ease is accessibility, and I know you've talked a lot around lifestyle. The lifestyle is also important. So for everybody developing products, this, and I think our other speakers actually also emphasized on that. So maybe Timmy could also share with me what you think the future of payments is.
Yeah, thank you. Maiwa said quite interesting thing, and most importantly is right. I like that you mentioned that beyond functionality, right? Gen Zs or young adults will take into cognizance, take into consideration the ease of using of this feature of this infrastructures, right? I also wanted to mention that speed is also very important, right? As Gen Zs, nobody has time to waste. I do not want to send money from one bank to another bank and then have to spend another 10 minutes, 15, 20, 30 minutes having to confirm my payment, right? Gen Z is one of the case where as soon as I tap send to Maiwa is getting that money almost immediately, right? I do not have to book an Uber and then have to wait for extra 5 minutes inside the Uber before the guy or the rider confirms my payment, right? I do not want to be in a restaurant and it takes another 15 minutes before the attendant confirms my order, right? Speed is super important, just as much as ease is also very important, right? And feature of payment would also be influenced, we should also look at the point of influence, right? It's easier for me to adopt some payment mechanisms because a friend like Maiwa, a friend like Larry told me about this mobile app, about this feature, about this bank or something, right? That's the ease of discoverability. Let me to get information about a feature from a bank or something, or a mobile app, or a fintech company, right? And very importantly, as much as we are not as rich as Professor Tunde or Mr. Williams has spoke earlier, we also very much care about security of our money. Whether it's 2,000 naira or then 2K, we are very careful about security, right? And that's why you see people on Twitter when when so many people are complaining about the fact that a banking app is not working, it's not working. You see people brush up under the comment section I would say my ticket is for Nabanco, that kind of thing, right? So yeah, security, speed, and opportunity, that's my mention. Thank you.
Thank you, Timmy. Please, let's not allow their audiences to disappear. It's very clear. So Timmy is saying security is key. And of course, speed. Speed is extremely important. So whatever solutions you are coming up with, that should be seriously considered. So I also like to ask Larry what your take is on the future of payments. Oh, sorry. Let me take Wilson.
Hello. My take on future of payments. Now, my colleague, they spoke about the more of the Gen Z personal problems they have with each platform in terms of payment, but my own take of what future of payment would mean more modern day technology integration into platforms. And when I say modern day technology, I mean things like Web3, tokens, crypto, and even AI, right? We're speaking a lot about security of funds, no matter the amount, and I believe that the future of payment should hold a more automated way of security and being able to detect fraud instantly, right? With the amount of security that we have now, we still have a massive amount of loss from fraud and insider manipulation or whatsoever, right? And to combat this the best we can, we have to create a system that is not corrupt. And the best way we can do that is removing human error. We need to integrate more AI into these platforms. Of course, like they said, we also need to make sure that these transfers are swift as possible. And the best way we can do that is we can tokenize a lot of these currencies to make things a little bit more simpler and educate a lot more people about the usage of the new modern day technology. So that's what I believe the future of payment will be.
Thank you. Thank you, Wilson. So Wilson emphasized security and we talked about how we can use AI to also improve security too. And of course, tokenization. So let's begin to think about digital currencies. I know it's been introduced, but definitely could be better. And it's what we should all put our heads together to see how can we really do it better so that it's more secure and it also gives our regulators more comfort. Thank you. So maybe I should now go back to Larry again. What are your thoughts?
I'm going to say from the aspect of cross-border payments, there will be a lot of restrictions when it comes to that. And as we all know, millennials and Gen Z right now, we are digital natives, right? And we are looking for seamless transactions, fast payment solutions, technology integrations, but there's still a bit of restrictions when it comes to making cross-border payments, right? So if we are going to get into the future, I believe that the fintech sector, the fintech industry, the banking sector should also help integrate all of those solutions easily. I know there are existing solutions, right? But then cross-border payment right now, there's still a lot of gap in that field.
All right, thanks, Larry. Cross-border payments, I'm happy when Nika was here, she did mention it. Cross-border payment is extremely important because the world is global, we know global payments are happening. And the earlier we solve all of the issues that we have on cross-border payments, the better. And that's why the industry is here. Thanks, Larry. So I think I should now hear from, Adiola.
Hello. Okay. So I'm going to quickly buttress the point that my one made earlier when he talked about experiences. I'm going to tell a story of how in the last 1 year, I say about 6 months, switched between my favorite bank, the favorites of both banks that I use. Right. So I shouldn't mention names.
The names of the banks.
Oh, okay. That would be called. So So I have two banks. One
Bank
is
A and Bank B.
no, bank A is orange, as an orange bank. And bank B is red. I mean, there are lots of reds. So, yeah. And earlier, so I'm going to the importance of experiences, right? So, as at 12 months ago, bank B, whenever you want to make a transfer, you want to search, when you put in the account, you want to search for the name of the bank, the search bar is at the top, right? So you can just type it in. But bank A, you have to scroll down to the bottom before you saw the search bar, right? And because of that sole experience, my favorite was bank B. I never used bank A. In fact, if money enters my bank A, I move to bank B immediately because I don't want to scroll everything I want to pay for something. Right. And then the story changed about a couple of months ago when Machi launched a new version of the app, and it was just, I wanted to log in and I saw that I could use my Face ID to log in. So that means I don't have to type my password anymore. Wow, amazing. So I just pick up my phone and the app unlocks. Right, that experience. So interestingly, Bank B also launched that, such that I could also log into the same app, with just Face ID. The crazy thing, the difference now at this point, so then Bank A improved the whole searching flow. Now, the difference between Bank A and Bank B now is that when after putting in the what's it called now, all the details, and you want to finally send the money, Bank A allows me to also approve my Face ID. Bank B still requires me to type in my password, and I'm officially a full fan of Bank A. If any money enters my Bank B now, I move it to Bank A immediately because of that experience. Right? So I think it's sometimes, it's easy to underestimate how important experiences are in digital products, and something I want us to really talk about so that our bank managers can. It's exciting.
I'm sure the feedback can say more than that. But however, what you have said is very clear. User experience, UI, UX, it really matters a lot in whatever apps we are developing. And sometimes we just assume for our consumers that we assume that this is what they would like just because we are in there. Of course, it's good to do that market research and to actually even engage even the users as you are doing your development work. I think that was a very important point that you put on the table. Thank you so much for that. All right, so Fini, what's your take? Let me say, you don't do the Bank A and Bank B.
Okay, for me, I'll come in from the point of controls in all the new technologies that is making life to be seamless for all users. So as these new products, these new services come on board, the same way the vulnerabilities that can come with these new apps, these new patches that are put in place, the same way there could be vulnerabilities which from the back end to ensure that that constant user experience continues, the banks and other stakeholders need to continually overhaul whatever IT controls that they are put in place on a periodic basis to ensure that the confidentiality, integrity, as well as availability of their platforms are assured for all these users that will use their platforms, especially the Gen Zs that want to have that fantastic user experience. So as that new app is coming on board, from the back end are those controls that are keeping the app confidential, are they operating effectively, and are they making the users happy in the long run? That's the point of view I'll look at it from.
All right, thank you so much. You've gone the risk angle, so I think that's also equally important in all of the products that are coming on this. Risk is seriously something you just can't do without. So thank you so much for your input. So let me ask Larry. I wonder, how do millennials and Gen Z make their purchasing decisions?
A lot of factors that contribute to that, and one of them is the consumer behavior. When it comes to product marketing, we used to say that it's good when you talk to users so that you understand what they want and not just build a product that they don't actually want, right? So the ability for you to understand consumer behaviors and what are those things that drives consumer behaviors is either social media interactions, is either recommendations, let's say for instance, you want to buy something and you talk to someone on phone or you either type on WhatsApp or Instagram, right? The algorithm picks that up and start recommending different products for you, right? And at the end of the day, different ads start coming up. Really need that product, you really need to get that product. And if, for instance, the merchants have a payment solution already, or you can easily get that product fast, you can just go ahead, order for it, and it delivers to you faster, right? So when it comes to consumer behavior for Gen Zs and millennials, right, we are looking for how seamless can it be? How fast can I get this thing? How cheap can I get it? Or in terms of trust, secure. Let's say, for instance, you want to make payment online, you see Paystack there and say, oh, this website is secured by Paystack, right? You are free to use your card details, it's secured, right? So security, recommendations, and also social media interactions can actually influence that decision.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Larry. Security, what happens, and the social media interactions, the AI that are built on trying to drive consumer behavior, encouraging you to do more. Those are basically some of the things you've identified as what influences purchases. So for Timmy, what are some potential ethical considerations surrounding the use of payment data and personal information for marketing purposes among millennials and Gen Z?
Thank you. Interesting. I work very closely with marketing team at Carrywise, and we take into cognizance some of these laws, data protection policies, right? But one of the very first thing, which is also very major, is seeking consent, right? As businesses, as banking bodies, as fintech firms, we shouldn't just assume that because person A is my customer, then automatically you want to receive marketing communications from your firms or from your company, right? That's not entirely true. Sometimes I just want to use your product because I enjoy your products, right? I enjoy your firm, I enjoy your business, I enjoy your product offerings, right? I am not, sometimes I'm probably not interested in marketing activities, right, which is fine. And that's why for us at Carrywise, we have this case where we allow you they allow you to unsubscribe whenever we send marketing communications to you. And then if you are no longer interested in receiving marketing communications at your own will, you can click on the unsubscribe button and you would not get any marketing communications anymore. And this is super important. I receive marketing communications without this feature. I mean, I do not want this. I do not want you to send this to me. Give me this functionality to subscribe, right? It begins to look like I'm getting spammed of these communications, right? Another thing that we do, another thing that I think businesses should take into consideration is ensuring that they are adequately adhering to local data policies or local data regulations, like the NPDR, right? And they also on a periodic basis, they audit every of these things regularly. One thing we do, for instance, at the moment is on a quarterly basis, we audit our processes around data management, right? How we manage customers' data, their account balances, their names, emails, their customer profiling, and all of those things, right? And this is something that over the years has not been taken seriously, maybe because we do not have a regulation that sits upside on that and ensure that there is some sort of penalty to companies that default in this regard. But I believe that as we grow as a country, as an ecosystem, all of these things will begin to come into play, and defaulters will be found wanting. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. But I'll tell you that as a country, they're not taking it easy with us again. It's not the way it used to be before. Data protection is key, it's critical. No financial institution takes that lightly. There are departments responsible in a lot of FIs that are responsible, that ensures that we comply with data protection. So I agree with you that data protection is one of the key things that should be looked at. So maybe moving on, let me ask the follower, from your point of view, what is the risk assessment and cyber security reviews on what on various financial applications? What are you thinking?
Thank you very much. For risk assessments and cybersecurity reviews, let's take a look at it this way. Each of those financial applications, as well as mobile app, they sit on an IT infrastructure that is resident within a banking environment. So whether it's a bank, whether it's a fintech, or it sits within that end-to-end IT infrastructure. And as one of the major things that we do in Phobis Mazars, we assist organizations in carrying out what we know as vulnerability assessments and penetration testing. These are the simple tools, the simple technologies that hackers, script kiddies, use to brute force into a network, and they can use to, one, gather information which we know as reconnaissance, gather information that are readily available on the internet or on the physical environment of that particular infrastructure, and are able to use those information that are gathered to be able to launch an attack into that IT environment, whether it's a database or an application where that your mobile app where it is. So one of the major evidences that you can know that there's a high-risk environment for an application is, one, the number of downtimes, where, for example, you want to log into that mobile app, you can't log in, and you know that your passwords are correct. Another is where there are, for example, social media trends on an app being down or money transactions not successful. So those are few matrices that can encourage both the staff of the bank, both internal as well as external stakeholders such as the financial authority, which is CBN, to ensure that these regular reviews, whether they are VAPTs, IT audits, or even cybersecurity resilience, are done on a periodic basis to ensure that the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of that IT environment where the application sits is there is adequate assurance, so that I, as a millennial or a Gen Z, can be sure that, oh, my money is there and my money is not lost, or there's nobody forcing my my profile or hijacking my profile and sending money through my account without my consent. So VAPT, IT audit, and cybersecurity resilience reviews helps to get the standard shape of the current position of an app or a financial application that an organization uses, that their clients can use to make different transactions. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Philip. We're just trying to tell us that even as Gen Zs and millennials, they're really concerned with security, cyber security in particular, and all of the measures that we should be put in place. And that's quite comforting, you know. Nowadays, we just assume that, oh, maybe apps developed by Gen Zs or millennials that probably be a bit loose and not be concerned about some certain security features. It's clear that, from what I hear, that all those things are also being done and really being considered. Thank you, Finn, for that. I will now ask Myra, how would you rate the current performance? This is a big deal for me, and I'm sure it is for quite a number of people here. How would you rate the current performance of banks and payment companies in meeting the needs of millennials and Gen Zs?
It's a big one, so I'll try to answer holistic as I can. If there's one thing that I've been happy about in these past years of my Gen Z life is how much we've banked non-banks. It's very interesting that the areas of banking, if you like, where people in the rural environments have access to digital payments, in the ways we've made it easy, from those agents scattered around the communities. When I was in universities, a very rural place, and this place has people that to come to the city because it's a far distance. And then you have thousands of POS agents scattered around this. And these people are farmers, these guys are hunters, and they have to send money to their kids in school. At least the kids have bank accounts. And these parents might necessarily not trust it yet, shockingly, but at least they trust that POS agents can take that money and send to their child. That's one thing that I've been happy about in the past years. And that's from the millennial and back standpoints. Now, when you come from my own standpoint, I will now look at how they've brought payments to address our pain points from the angle of savings and investment. So you want to look at what Carrie Wright, my friend's company, and PiggyVest is doing in the area of savings. And not just, I don't just want to save, but they sort of give me a reason to, right? To want to save. So PiggyVest will tell you, we have a new feature called house savings. And you're like, it's true, mommy pays the rent, maybe mommy pays the rent. And I want to add to the money from my salary. So, okay, we pay 1 million, right? And Piggy will tell you, okay, you can save 50K every month. And I'm like, okay, I can save 900,000. And I can give mommy to add to the 1 million and I'll pay it. Or I want to buy iPhone 11 and it's expensive. But for some reason, these people just have plans that makes me want to save because they sort of structure around it. And let's go to investment. Look at what RiseVest is also doing in that area. And Harry was in the past years, investment seemed far for someone like me. The concept of wanting to buy stock and all of those mutual funds, it was far off. But now they're bringing it to my doorstep. And I don't get the realistic idea yet. But then I see technology that is crafting it in a way that I understand it. And it appeals to me to want to buy those things. And if there's anything that payment has done and financial services has done, and let's not forget what the likes of Pampe, I'll mention because let them get their flowers. Pampe and Ope has done in that area of decentralized payments to where a woman that is in the market will tell you that send that money to my Pampe account. And shockingly, she might have a traditional bank account too, but for some reason, these banks have sent a wave of we're known for whatever we're known for whatever they've done as to giving that trust. And we now need to check how have they done this. It's ease that I mentioned earlier, accessibility. The market woman, early days, will not trust bank transfer. And for some reasons, we now trust it. And three major pain points for me really. We've banked a large chunk of those banks that has been a problem in past times. Making investment and savings relate to my generation because it was a problem in the past. We thought it was for the rich people, but now we can do it with our 2K. And lastly will now be how these banks are powering some interesting smaller technologies that is just now appealing to the everyday people who want to trust electronic transfers. That would be the interesting things I've seen so far.
Thank you so much. That was fantastic. And that's truly what has happened in the payment space over the years. Whether it's a commercial bank, whether it's a fintech or a microfinance, generally the people in the institutions of the payment system. I think we need to celebrate ourselves as Nigerians for making that leap and that growth in the payment world. So I think it's a good one. It's a win-win situation for all of us. Thank you for that. So I'll just try to find out again from Wilson, how would you envision the future of technology evolving to better meet the needs of millennials? Now this is like, what more, really? Yeah.
Well, the most important thing is to interact with the people who are going to use your product, right? When we believe we've reached the highest point of our product or our technology, there's still a lot more to do because there are new users and different people digesting it in different ways. So one thing I think is to interact with the new generation of people, creating an easier way for them to
also engage in things like investments and mutual funds. This will also allow them to increase their knowledge of it, right? Because most of these things, right, bonds, trust funds, all those things were things that we weren't really taught, right? We had to later on build the interest of it because everybody wants to make money, right? So we're not really taught these things, and the best way to understand these things are through the internet. And one of the killers of people's intelligence is when you're trying to do something and there's a blockage towards it, right? Like Maiwa said, a lot of these companies now are allowing us to have easy reach at those type of things, bringing it to our doorstep, right? So in terms of the future of payment and what more they can do for millennials, they can try to understand the lifestyle choices a bit more, understand the interests, and create, network with them and create these products to ease off a little bit of stress for us. Because the older generation look at what we see as stress as not stress at all. Maybe we're spoiled or whatever, but it could be a good thing, right? Because we're creating easier, modes of interaction between the technology and human beings, right? And it's in the long run, it's gonna show positive impact eventually. So yeah, I think that most companies should try and have some good networks with the newer generation to understand what they like, so they can integrate it into their product.
All right, thank you. Basically saying move closer to the users. That's what I can say about it. Move closer to users. Really, really know what they want. Do your market research, and you'll get the best from them. So, Adiola, to what extent do you think loyalty programs affect the choices of millennials when considering payment platforms?
Um, so I would say loyalty programs work, right? But as what we've seen a lot lately, or what we've always seen is, a lot of payment platforms designing their loyalty programs around, cashbacks and financial rewards. But I think that as much as our generation likes instant gratification, so that works. But I think as much as we design such programs, we should also design more loyalty programs. So loyalty programs around more experiences, right? So how do I see this now? So think of like exclusive events, exclusive products, exclusive. I would say, for lack of better words, Nigerians, especially our generation, we're very classist to some extent, and we like to feel important. We like to feel like VIPs, right? So, imagine having a tiered, a reward system that allows people to aim for the VIP position, inside the payment app. So think of an example. So look at it this way. Imagine you are a payment platform, and you have data of people who are always using your cards or your wallets or whatever, to order cheap quiz on Chowdeck, for example, right? Say you have a large volume of people ordering food on Chowdeck, right? So why are you not designing loyalty programs in partnership with Chowdeck and Groove and all these food platforms, such that say after you've ordered say 50 meals, you have the opportunity to get free delivery on next Chowdeck. Do you understand? So this is going to be heavily built on personalization and micro targeting. But I think designing loyalty programs are around that status feel, that status elevation, is a better way of designing sustainable loyalty programs.
Thank you. I hope my people are listening now. See, you said, even though we are there, but we want to feel that class. So design products that make us feel that way. That's what me I'm taking back. I'm taking note of all of these things. So thank you so much. Maybe Timmy will tell us what the ideal scenario would be, the perfect payment experience. What would it look like for you in the next 5 to 10 years?
Interesting. Next 5 to 10 years, I had to quickly add up 5 years to my current age. I think by then I should be married with a set of twins, right? Yeah, that's me. I don't know what you want for yourself, so yeah. Next 5 to 10 years.
It's just that you didn't tell us whether it's going to be a boy and a girl.
Oh, one each.
One each.
Okay, yeah.
Go ahead.
One for the mother, one for me. Okay, that's by the way. Anyways, future of parents in the next 5 to 10 years, right? Frankly, I observe that everyone, as every of the panelists has touch points on. They've mentioned at least 1, 2, 3 things that they expect to see, but that they think that should already be existing, that's currently not existing. And this insinuates that the next 5 to 10 years we should already have these things right. But from a more materialistic perspective, I envision a space where payment is frictionless, right? Payment is unlimited. I should be able to make payments without having to use a device. I mean, hire my fingerprints. I could walk into a restaurant, place my finger on a device, and then it says, oh, which of your bank account do you want to be debited from? And then it says bank A or bank B. I'm not mentioning any names. And then you get debited or you get charged for that particular amount, right? We envision a world where payment becomes embedded into our everyday lifestyle, right? I like what the guys at Cowrie Technologies is doing. That's touch and pay. They are not Cowrie-wise. Disclaimer. Right now, they play in the microservices or microtransactions subsector of the larger fintech spectrum. And you could just, coming from Yanapaja, coming from Ikorodu, coming from wherever, down to DI and wherever, you can pay as quick, as fast, as convenient with your Cowrie card, right? We hope to see more of these things enhanced better than what we currently have, right? We look forward to seeing market women having some of these micro devices where I can just tap my card, whether it's my ATM card or a card as seamless as Cowrie card, without having to pass through so many stresses of, what's it called? In fact, as seamless as fingerprint or face unlock can be, which there are still so many other ways, so many optimizations that can be done, right? Like I said the other time, fingerprints. I also look forward to a future where we have seamless cross-border payment. I think it was Mario that mentioned it the other time. Right now, I find it's very, very difficult to send money to Ghana, a neighboring country, or so many other West African countries. I look forward to a future where a GT bank or whichever bank, right, can allow me send money to my future wife tomorrow, right? Yeah. Thank you so much.
Maybe the future wife is even here. All right, so I hear lots around biometrics and contactless payments. I think it's here. I think we've not